Hello everyone, my name is Amber. Welcome to my channel, Amber Reads Romance. I'm here with another Rina Kent vlog. This one is actually going to be her most recent release. It has already come out when I am doing this because I'm a little behind on my ALC, but I did get an ALC for beautiful Venom and I am so excited. I was so amped when I got the ALC because I just love Rina Kent. And I've been reading her backlist and vlogging it all, so it's so awesome to get an ALC for this. So by the time this is posting, it's gonna already be out for a bit. I don't know when I'm gonna post this, but I want to continue my Rina Kent vlogging journey, so I thought it'd be cool to vlog this. So let's go ahead and get started with the beautiful Venom vlog. Okay guys, so I'm sorry if the lighting is kind of bad out here, but I'm just out on my porch and just got home from work, so just wanted to do a quick check-in since I'm only about 20% through the book. And this is definitely Rina Kent. It's definitely dark. Got some crazy stuff already happening right at the beginning of this book. We have Dahlia, and she is a college student. She got a scholarship to go to this high-end university. I can't remember the name, but it's very like with the elite and very rich and powerful people. And she is trying to infiltrate a secret society called, I think it's Vencor. And she knows that these hockey players are part of this society. So she's been kind of spying on them, trying to figure out a way to get close to them. She's more looking into Kane, who's like the captain of the team, because he seems more manageable than his like psycho friends. She knows they're part of this secret society, and so she's trying to get an introduction, to get noticed by them, all that. So she actually was like spying on them right after the hockey game. They were still doing on the ice and she was like hiding, and his friends go in and he actually calls her. He's like, I know you're there, so you can go ahead and come out now. And she's like, fuck, like that's not how she wanted to be introduced. She pretends to kind of be a fan, and he's like, oh, well, why don't you come get an autograph? But he's very cool, calm, and collected, and very like almost robotic with the way he does things. And so she goes up and she's like, oh, I don't have a pen or paper, so maybe next time. And he's like, oh, well, you can get a picture with me. So he like literally poses with her in pictures and all of that. And then he's like, so now tell me the real reason that you're here. And he had found out that she was looking into him and his friends, trying to be like become like I think intern with the team or something. And so he looked into her. And so he tells her, you know what, you could come to the initiation with me. They're doing an initiation. I was planning on another person, but I can have you go. And, because she does fess up that she wants to be a part of this society. And so he tells her that she can go be one of his initiation chick or whatever. So the reason she's doing this is because her sister, it's not her blood sister, but a sister she grew up with in the foster system. That's like basically her sister, her everything, protected her. They were in an abusive foster home together. She was attacked by somebody in this society, like dropped off at a hospital. She's in a coma. And so she's out for revenge and to find out who did this to her. So she ends up having to go to this initiation. And it's pretty crazy because they do basically like a mental test to start off, and then they'll do like a physical test. And the thing is this gets pretty crazy. But Kane gives her multiple opportunities to back out. He gives her the, safe word of red, and he makes it known multiple times, like just say red, and this will end, but she would basically, if she said red, would be kicked out of the school. She'd be banished. She could never be there again. And so she can't really say red because she's there to do this for her friend. So she does this mental test, which was really sad because her parents died in an accident. She was kind of had a doll, and she was, being rambunctious, and somebody hit them. and our parents died. And so they were showing her like a clip of like the accident and like playing the voices of like her mother and father, and it was so sad. It was bad. So she manages to get through that, and then her next one is with Kane, and he basically tells her like, I'm gonna use you, I'm gonna do whatever I want sexually to you. You need to say red. Like, if you want out, if you want it to be done, say red now. And so he is pretty brutal. Like, they at one point she's like, stop, freaking out, stop. And he's like, I'm not gonna stop unless you say red. Like, I'm gonna do whatever I want to you. I'm gonna fuck you hard, and that's it. And so at one point she like literally is fighting back, and she smacked him, so he like smacks her across the face. Then she accidentally like knees his junk, and so he does a kitty slap, and she's just like, oh fuck, because he's like, if whatever you do to me, I'm gonna do 10 times harder. So just think about it. So that's our hero, or anti-hero, whatever you want to call him. So he fucks the shit out of her super hard. He's super big, like really big, bigger than she's ever seen. And so it's pretty rough. It's painful. It's not a good time. And he's really rough with her and kind of degrading her. And, he's like threatening her, like, if you don't make this good, then I'm going to fuck your ass and all this stuff. So at one point she squirts, though. So she's kind of like afterwards, like, why did I squirt? That was the first time I've ever squirt. So, yeah. So that ends up being her initiation. She gets through it, gets fucked brutally. And that's kind of where we're at here. I just finished where she went to go visit her friend in the hospital, and somebody was in the room and jumped out the window, even though they're like on the 5th floor. And so how is that possible? And then she had them check the footage, and I think they said it was down. So anyways, so I'm enjoying this so far. The audiobook is really good. I actually slowed it down more than I usually do because I just want to like take my time with it and really enjoy it. So I'm very excited for this, you guys. I'm so excited to finally get to this new release. I was very delayed getting to it because of the readathons last month, but I'm here and I'm ready. All right. Sorry, I'm out by the road. Anyways. Thank you. I will check in with you guys once I probably get like halfway through the book. Hey guys, so I am just taking a quick break at work. And so I wanted to do a check-in real quick because I think I'm about 60% through the book and I haven't done a check-in. And so I'm probably going to make this really quick. Sorry, but hopefully. Because I do want to heat something up for my breakfast. But anyways, I'm 60% through. I'm really enjoying it. I gotta say, this narrator, Corvin King, is doing a phenomenal job in this ALC, like in the audiobook. He is so good at dark romance. I know I've heard of him and I've probably listened to him before, but I really love him for dark romance. He really does amazing, like growly, kind of intense voice. So it's just like next level when he's giving you those lines from Caden. I'm sorry, not Caden, Kane. So anyways, this has been like, she's initiated, and she like, and everything's, whatever going with that. And he's kind of like not even reaching out to her after the initiation. And she has like no idea, well, what do I do now? Like, what's going on? And he basically is like, they'll reach out to you if they ever need you to do something. But she needs information. She needs connections. I think she's slowly trying to get like DNA from like his friends and stuff to test against DNA. I don't know. But I gotta tell you, her investigation isn't really going because it's mostly her and Kane's interactions and what's going on with them. So she is kind of with this back and forth with Kane. He ends up like, kind of distancing himself from her, but she's got the eye of like this chick that was into him. And then I think his friend, I'm trying to remember if it's Spencer. Oh, Preston, sorry. His friend Preston is like really like this angelic, beautiful looking guy, but he's totally psycho. His two friends, I think, I'm trying to remember both their names. Sorry. It's hard when you're only listening to it and you don't have the book with you. But they are just as psycho as him. They're both psycho. They're all psycho in like different ways. And Preston is like kind of annoyed with this chick, especially because Dahlia had like a fling or something with like one of their rival schools guys, and he's another psycho that like Preston hates. So once he realizes that, he's like really cruel to her. And then comes a point where she gets, sorry, I forgot my stick, and so my arms are getting tired holding this up. Anyways, she gets attacked and drugged. And I think they said Preston set them up to do it, which I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But she's like all drugged, and I think they gave her something like ecstasy or, you know, something like that, because she was like really feeling it. And these guys were gonna fully like rape her. But you know, Kane arrives and basically threatens them and gets her out of there. But then she's like all horny and out of it, so he like gets her off because she was like begging for it. He wasn't like being creepy or anything, but she was like begging him. And so that kind of happens. And then like we've got like multiple interactions with them of him like roughly face fucking her, just different stuff going on. It's Rina Kent. You're here for the rough stuff. The thing is Dahlia is like really into it. Like she is super into his like rough sex and almost like all the CNC they do, because another time they send her to like, she goes to this event and they send her out to like this kind of it's like a maze type of thing, and he basically tells her to run, and he chases her down and like is really violent and is like cutting her dress off her. It's super freaking hot. And they get really into it, and they'll be like, I hate you, blah blah blah, but they're like really into each other. And then she like pulls up, because he had a mask, she like pulls it up part way so that she can kiss him. And like he's never kissed her or really touched her in any way. And at first he was like very like cold and stiff, and then he got really into it and he like lost control. So I loved this scene because Dahlia was getting off on it, and she was getting off on the fact that like he's always so cold and calculated and very reserved and always in control, and she gets him out of control. So she really loves that, and it was just a very hot scene. And you know, so they are kind of fucking occasionally, really having a good time, but she wants him to like emotionally connect to her, like touch her afterwards, and he's like, I'm just fucking you, I'm using your body, that's it. So that's kind of where they're at sexually, but she wants to know more about him. She's starting to get concerned for him, because at one point she actually sees his back, and this is when we get a little bit more information on why Corvin, what the fuck? Sorry, that's the narrator. Why Kane is the way he is. His father like wanted a more manly, ruthless son, and so he tortured him from like a super young age. I think him and his friend did their first kill when they were like 10. But like his dad would beat him. He has all these scars on his back. He would like torture him to make him into a man. His friend Preston was like, he was like, I think raped by like a teacher or whatever at the school they sent them to. So I think they killed that guy together, and like that was their first kill. So there's that. I'm very interested in Preston. If I'm saying the correct character's name, I'm sorry if I'm not. I should have had my notes or something with me, but I'm just trying to make this quick. So there's a lot of darkness in him, and like one time he lost, like the team lost the game, and his dad, and this is just recently, he like hung him from like in this in his basement, and he hangs him up, and he used to be tortured down there when he was a kid, and he hangs him up for like all night and will pour like cold water like falls on him, so it's like total torture. So you can see why Kane is how he is. But he's becoming really obsessed and possessive over her, but he doesn't want it because he needs to stay focused, and she's like gonna ruin everything for him. So like they keep getting really intense together, and then he basically starts like ghosting her and was like, yeah, we're done. Like you're done with, our secret society. I'm done with you. And so she was really upset. So I'm trying to remember what else happened, but oh yeah, so after he did that, she went to a club with that ex that was from the rival hockey team and was like in the dress that like Kane bought her and was with him, and Kane gets like really pissed and basically throws her over his shoulder and is like, you fucked up now, like you dare do this. So that's kind of, I'm really rushing through because I have to get back to work, but that's kind of where I'm at. I'm really enjoying this push and pull dynamic. I love this one thing where like Dahlia was like with his mother, because his poor mother is in this abusive, horrible relationship, and Kane really like doesn't have a relationship with her and completely is distant from her. And so Dahlia was like spending time with her and like, trying to make him spend time with her. And it was just sad. But I'm really enjoying it. The audiobook's really good. I think I'm going to be able to finish it today at work, and then I will check back in with you once I finish. Sorry, this is kind of rushed, but I got to get back to work plus eat. But all right, I'll see you on the next clip. Hello, everyone. I am back with my final check-in for beautiful Venom. And I kind of took my time with it, honestly. Like, I didn't listen to it super fast speed. Like sometimes I like slow down the speed a little bit. So I took my time with this, and I'm really glad I did because I really had a great time with this book. So I'm just kind of, I didn't even set up my lighting or anything, so hopefully this doesn't look horrible, but I just wanted to do a quick check-in. I just got home from work. I finished it like early this morning at work, so just now checking in on it. But basically, the last like 40% of this book really picks up, and we get lots of twists and turns, and I was very into it. So where we kind of left off is where she had like tried to make him jealous, and he like carries her out of the club. And so they kind of finally have it out where she tells him, like, I want more. Like, I don't want you to fucking degrade me and whatever. Like, degrading me during sex and when we're having a good time is fine. But, like, I need the emotional connection outside of that. And he's like, well, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not going to do that. Blah, blah, blah. And so she says, okay, then no sex. Like, I don't want any sex between us. We don't need to have anything between us. Because I want more than that. And so let's just not do that then. And so that makes him have to like make a decision here. And, Kane, is holding up this facade of not caring about her. But he's very possessive, very obsessed with her. But she is ruining his self-control and his regimented way he does things. And so he was kind of pushing her away a little bit, but now he stops that. And he basically offers to do the intimate stuff with her and be there for her. And so they start this kind of bigger relationship where they're really together. They're like boyfriend and girlfriend pretty much. There's one point where he like kisses her in front of everybody after the hockey game. So he's totally claiming her as his and wanting to be with her. But at this time, she is also still looking into his friends and fellow hockey members and trying to test for their DNA, because she does get to work at like the lab and everything. I don't know if I mentioned, but she was, I think, going to be like pre-med or whatever. So she's very smart, and she's using that to check into these men because her friend had like DNA under her nails. So she's still doing that. So when one day she kind of goes and after I think the game or something, and she goes to go work on testing DNA, and then who shows up but his dad, and I think it's his uncle if I'm remembering correctly. I can't remember, sorry. But it's this guy named Julian who's super creepy too, and they show up and they basically tell her, we know what you've been doing. Like Julian is like runs this school's lab and all his pharmaceuticals and all that stuff. He's like, anything that goes on here, I know about. We knew what you were up to the entire time, and we want you out of Kane's life. We'll help your. They basically tell her they took her sister out of that hospital, and that they want her out of Kane's life, and they're going to tell him the truth about how she was just using him to do research and test his friends and all of that kind of stuff. And so they gave her like 24 hours to basically end things with him brutally and hurt him. Now, what I liked about this was I was expecting Dahlia to be like, oh, and like end things and lie to him and make it like a super like mean breakup. But she doesn't. She actually asked him to take her to her hometown to kind of like do this road trip for 6 hours. And so they do this road trip and they spend this like quality time together. And she kind of is like saying goodbye to her parents, and he's there with her, like holding her hand and being really attentive and super sweet. And then she just like tells him, oh, I'm going to do this over here. I'll be right there. And she disappears. And so he's freaking out, like doesn't know where she's at. And his friends let him know, hey, like her sister's been taken out of the hospital. We don't know where she is. So he knows like immediately his father is involved and that he did something to the sister to control her. And at the same time, he's trying to find her. She is like at this church or whatever, kind of praying and just like freaking out. And they basically show up there. And his father shows up there, and she's just devastated. And she figures, you know what? Like, I'm going to take this guy out. He tortured Kane for years. The abuse and torture and control and manipulation and mind games that he did with Kane was very abusive. And you can see why Kane was the way he was. His back is all scarred up. He's got so much damage from his father. And so she's like, I'm taking him out. Like, I got to get rid of him. And so she gets like her scalpel out and tries to make a move on him stupidly. But still, I'm like, what a badass. Like, go for it. Kill this fucker. But she just like wounds his face a little bit, and he grabs her and knocks her out. And now she's being held in that same like basement, hanging from the ceiling, getting cold water torture, just like Kane was earlier in the book. And that's like something that's happened to him forever. And so Kane is livid. He knows where she's at, and he's like gonna go save her. And he gets his friends, and they're like kind of like not totally invested, but they basically rescue her and get her out of there. And he like is upset with her. They have this insane like fuck session because she's like, take it out on me for like disappearing on you and all of that. They do anal, all the kinky stuff that Rina gives you in a book. That's what happens. It was super hot. It was really sexy scene. And then they like cuddle, and she goes to sleep, and she wakes up and she freaks out because he's not there, but he left her a text and is like, hey, I got this to take care of. I'll be there. Oh, I'm sorry. I totally passed over this. When he rescues her in that basement, he basically kills his father. He like shoots multiple guys and kills his father. And so now he's going to be the head of this whole secret society and corporation shit. So pretty badass. He went in there and saved his girl. But after this, Julian shows up and she goes and meets with him, which I was like, girl, don't meet with him on your own. And he tells her the truth. And he says, Kane knew who you were. He knew who your sister was. He knew what happened to your sister. And, he just strung you along and used you. And tells him like, he actually knows why your sister was attacked. And it happened to be his other friend. I think it's Jude, if I'm remembering the name correctly. His like stepmom, I guess, was like stabbed, brutally killed. And he's been going after these people that witnessed it and didn't do anything. And so that's kind of been his goal forever. And so her sister happened to be there that night. So that's why she was attacked. And so she feels so betrayed that Kane used her. She fell for him, fell in love with him, and he was just stringing her along and fucking with her. Meanwhile, knowing what happened to her sister. So she basically goes with Julian, and he tells her, hey, I'll get you and your sister. Your sister's awake now, because she wasn't really in a coma. It was an medically induced coma that I had her in, because he basically ran that hospital. And so she ends up going with him to where her sister is located, and Kane is on the hunt to get her back. She calls him and like, actually, so I did like this because she didn't just jump to conclusions. She actually calls him and is like, is it true? Like, did you do this to me? And it is, but she won't let him explain things, and is just like, stay away from me. If I see you again, I'll kill you. Because she knows that Jude is going to keep coming after her sister, or at least she thinks. I'm guessing that might be the next book, because there's some things going on between Jude and the sister, because he was like hanging out at her hospital bedside and has like this weird thing. So I don't think he was really wanting to kill her. But we don't know fully yet by the end of this book what happened to her sister, because her sister isn't saying. So it's crazy. So he ends up finding them, and, you know, kind of is like groveling, and he also offers like basically to stop helping Jude with this hunt of like the, you know, witnesses and all this kind of stuff. So she ends up going back to him, and we have our happily ever after. So it was a pretty interesting book. It's not my favorite Rina Kent, but I really liked it. It felt very different. It felt a lot like S. Massery, her like hockey series. I'm very interested in his friends and like where she's going to take this series. I think it's really cool, the setup of the secret society. I thought they had a really great chemistry and connection. And I can just tell you, I highly recommend the audiobook, because I'm trying to remember what his name is. Something Corvin. Was it Corvin King? I might be mixing up names, but he was, if I said it wrong, I'm going to put it down here, but he was phenomenal. Like, he needs to just do constant dark romance. He has such a growly, deep, intense voice that's super sexy, but also intense in like those high, you know, intense situations. That sounds stupid, but so he was really, really good. So I ended up giving this one 5 stars and 4.5 chilies. It did have a lot of spicy stuff in it. Obviously, we have the CNC primal play. I think there was a knife play at one point, which it wasn't like over the top knife play. Like, it was okay. We got obviously anal butt stuff going on, choking, all the good stuff. So I had a great time with this. I am so excited to continue with this series, and I'm gonna be still vlogging. I don't know if I'll post this first or the other one first, but I am still gonna be vlogging the Kiss of a Villain. What was it called? Anyways, it was the previous one that I was supposed to get to the last 2 months, and I still haven't got to. So I plan on still reading that this month, and I will be having that vlog as well. But thank you so much for watching this. Again, like, I've really loved this Rina Kent journey that I've been on this last, I think, couple years. It's taken me a while to get through her entire backlist, but I did it. If you are interested, again, make sure you check out my Rina Kent playlist. You know, I'm probably putting it on the wrong side here. I went up here. Anyways, if you want to check out my playlist, check it out. I have all the Rina Kent vlogs, and, you know, it's fun. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys watching my vlogs and going along this Rina Kent journey with me. And I will see you guys on the next one.